In today's video, we've got some good and bad news for you. Let's start with the bad news first, as Iconic Arcade, which was originally supposed to ship in June, got delayed till October, and today we have an update on whether or not you can expect to see your Iconic Arcades this October. Moving over to the good news, we finally got word from Arcade1Up, who were at LA Comic-Con, and depending on your viewpoint, this good news might actually be bad. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Michael B, and in today's video, we're going to tell you all about Iconic Arcade's latest shipment update, and guess what? It's been delayed again. We'll tell you when you can expect to receive your cabinets, when we think anyways. Plus, on top of that, Rob from Arcade1Up made an appearance at LA Comic-Con thanks to B-Kong. He did an interview, so we'll take a look at that interview and see what's good and what's bad about Arcade1Up going forward. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate the support. If this is your first time to the channel and you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notification, all that YouTube stuff. So CES last January, seems like a lifetime ago now, when we got our first look at Iconic Arcade's Street Fighter cabinets they were going to be bringing to the market to compete directly with Arcade1Up in the home arcade space. These were showed to be recreation arcades, and they were in the extra large form factor, which got a lot of people excited that were hoping for something more from Arcade1Up when it came to XL cabs that Arcade1Up just didn't deliver. At the time they were announced, the pre-order went live through Spreetail, and we were supposed to have these cabs in our hands come June 2025. Now, unfortunately, that wasn't the case, as a bunch of stuff happened. The cabs actually did not come out in June. They got delayed. There was rumors of a cease and desist that we all pretty much think is definitely very possible, if not true, that actually happened. Things got completely delayed with Iconic. They did not meet their June shipping date. That doesn't mean things didn't happen as June, because a lot of people who actually pre-ordered made a partial payment upon the original pre-order, then got charged for the full amount in June despite the cabs not coming out. But most people got that refunded or paid in full, and a new notice at that time was delivered. The cabs would come out in October of 2025. Well, October is in fact tomorrow, and the question is, will people be getting their Iconic Arcades? Well, I want to say a huge thank you to James Hates Everything, who actually pre-ordered one of these Iconic Arcades. I've got messages from a few other people in the community, like my buddy the Garage Gamer, who did the same, pre-ordered the Iconic Arcade. There was some rumors going into today that that shipment would be delayed, and in fact, Iconic did send out a notice saying their cab would be yet again delayed. We wanted to let me see if I can bring up the whole image here. James's email's kind of cut off there. We wanted to reach out personally. Important update regarding your order purchase. Unfortunately, the date is shifted, and your order is scheduled to ship on December 17th now. So once again, the date is moved by another couple of months. It's going to be towards the end of the year. They're also warning that it's a possibility you will get charged again for the second part of your payment coming up on October 1st. And if that happens, they're going to offer the same refund, or you can choose to just let that go through and then no further charging will happen when the cab actually comes out in December. There's a bunch of pages here that kind of goes over everything. They apologize. They say, we know delays are something that really bothers people, and we appreciate you sticking with us. The cabs will come out December 17th, final delay. So I mean, I don't know what to take from this. December 17th, does that mean the cabs are actually going to be in your hands on December 17th or coming across from China on December 17th? No one really knows, but it's looking more and more like Iconic Arcade, which, pre-order opened up right away in January 2025, won't make 2025 for some people at this point, and most people can expect to get this early 2026. To be honest, guys, it's hard to say this isn't a big bummer. With everything that has happened with Iconic Arcade already, I understand a lot of people are probably pretty pessimistic with their pre-order, or for people that didn't pre-order, on the outside waiting to get in when this product comes to retail, you're maybe second-guessing whether or not you should want it at all. I mean, so much has changed with the design, the shape, the screen, all the rumors of the cease and desist, what it would mean for Iconic Arcade. There's a couple loud people in the community trying to tell you this product's never coming out at all. The constant delays, it's really, really frustrating. So, you know, I think the best thing that could happen is for Iconic Arcade to actually be able to meet this December 17th date, get this cabinet out, prove the doubters wrong. Hopefully, it's a really good experience for everybody that wants one, and we can move on to the next product from Iconic Arcade with a little bit more confidence. So that's right, guys. Iconic is delayed again. There's only one word for it. Bummer. It sucks. I feel bad for all the people that pre-ordered. I feel bad for the company because I think a lot of these things are kind of out of their hands. Hopefully, it does get delivered December 17th, and we can all move on, and hopefully everybody's happy with the product they get. Me personally, I'm still interested in this product, just waiting for the pre-order to go back up and seeing if the price has changed and whether or not the shipping, free shipping to Canada has changed before I decide whether or not I'm going to make this purchase. Anyways, moving forward, hopefully we're going to talk about some good news. At least I think it's good news, while other people are going to think it's negative news, and that is Arcade1Up showing up at LA Comic-Con. So big kudos go out to our buddy B Kong, who was at LA Comic-Con and went and checked out the Arcade1Up booth. Taking a look at the booth from the outside, it's a massive space with very few machines, and it's a little sad to see that so few machines made it to the show floor, and the display piece really looked kind of depressing with only 6 machines in such a big open space. But one thing that was a positive some people won't see was Rob from Arcade1Up. Now, I've given Rob a hard time in the past, probably undeservedly so, because we often take the people that stand up front for Arcade1Up, we give them the most shit and the most blame for things that we're disappointed with in the company. And I'm going to be very honest, there's been a lot of things in the past year or so that I've been very disappointed with Arcade1Up for. Their switch to their slim cabs, some of their design choices, the fact that they just can't seem to do anything right. We all take that out on either Cyrus, and now Rob seems to be that scapegoat. So Rob did an interview here, and I'm going to give him a lot of credit because last time Rob did an interview with B Kong, B and Justin weren't so nice to him. So the fact that he was willing to stand up and do that interview with them again shows a lot of character. I appreciate that. We found out that Rob has a new position with Arcade1Up. He's the director of public relations. Then we're all scratching our head because, as we know, Arcade1Up barely has any public relations, so what is he actually the director of? But I will give him credit. Even though he used corpo speak, as P-Dub so eloquently put it this morning, he did use a lot of that. He was pretty straightforward about his answers. They talked about the Slimcades and talked about their market research showing people in apartments and smaller spaces were apt not to buy the cabs, and while we're critical of that decision, saying these idiots, we want arcades that are, you know, more full size, XL, or we like the deluxe the way they were, you got to remember that they've sold all the NBA Jams, all the Pac-Mans, maybe all the Terminators they can to our demographic. They're trying to reach outside that and find new markets. So, of course, Slim, for people who normally wouldn't have space, does allow them to bring the same product they've already brought to a new market, maybe. So, you know, I'll give them some credit for their honesty there. You know, one of the big takeaways is nothing really came from this interview. There was no new information. We didn't find out anything about new licenses. You know, we didn't really find out anything about the future of the product, but it was just nice to see them come out in the community, speak candidly about some of the decisions. And one thing that gave me a little bit of hope, where other people said there was no hope, at least they did admit that there's still is hope for a future without slim cabs. I've been very upfront in saying that, I love Arcade1Up. I've loved Arcade1Up since day one. I've invested heavily in them. I've bought so many of them. I've been such a big fan, but I will not buy anything that isn't that slim form factor. So, at least they said we're not ruling out going back and making cabs that aren't slim. And for me, that's a win. I mean, at this point, from Arcade1Up, who have shown an inability to do anything for the last 2 years, at least acknowledging there's a hope they'll go back to big cabs, I'll take that as a win. Maybe I'm being too positive. Maybe I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I don't really know, but I actually thought Rob did a good job during this interview. I thought, it showed that Arcade1Up were still alive, still on the map. Was it, an excellent performance? No, obviously that booth looks pathetic. They didn't really have anything to say, but I mean, it's better than not talking to the community at all. So anyways, just a bit of a news update on this Tuesday for you guys. Of course, the really super bad news is Iconic is delayed yet again. Hopefully, there are no more further delays. They're saying product is shipping on December 17th. Hopefully you guys get those cabinets in your home by that date. You're satisfied with the cabinets and it delivers on all its promises so we can just move on, realize we have, or hopefully we have, a reliable other option away from Arcade1Up to get recreation arcades that works well, and hopefully more stuff comes in the future. Now, going back to Arcade1Up, of course, it's so hard to look at this and grade this performance or, really take anything from what they did at LA Comic-Con. They had a huge space and barely covered it at all. I mean, the 6 arcades, I understand those are the 6 arcades that are in circulation now they're selling, so you want to highlight those, but wouldn't you bring multiples of it? Wouldn't you kind of pack the booth with a bunch of machines, even though it's just the machines you currently have, to kind of make it look more fulsome, more interesting, maybe to accommodate more people at a time? Just seeing the small 6 arcades there in this large open space was kind of depressing. And again, we didn't get any new information from Rob, but I will give him credit for facing B again after his last awkward moment. I will give him credit again for talking to the community, because it's been a very long time, and hopefully they do more of that in the future. Like, obviously they don't need to run whole shows if they don't have anything going on, but obviously the community is a very important part of what built Arcade1Up, what informed Arcade1Up to make some of the better decisions they made. So hopefully there's more of this in the future, and that director of public relations means that they're going to not just invest in the mass market with their public relations, they're also going to do so for the hardcore fans. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of today's news, the Iconic news, the Arcade1Up appearance at LA Comic-Con. Was there anything that you felt strongly about? Let me know down below. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time.